So, good morning, YouTube. So, this is going to be a little bit of a different type of my YouTube. I haven't done one of these in a long time, but things have been coming to me as far as ideas. So, I used to talk a little bit more about these. I get these impressions about things. It's the only way I know how to describe them. And sometimes they're visual. So, like, there was this time where I got this impression of actual time. And there was somehow this understanding that time wasn't what we thought it was, and that actually, and this is really freaky, that multiple timelines could be going on at the same time. So, like, the way the planet is right now, it seems like there is this timeline going on, and it's the only timeline that's happening at this moment. But actually, supposedly, there's infinite dimensions, and it's just so freaky. It's hard to actually like conceptualize. Well, there was this one point where I there was this person in my life that was very significant to me. And I started to sort of like do this understanding that we started out in the same position, and then as our relationship progressed, like my timeline was going forward and his timeline was going backward. Okay? So this is kind of freaky. Or mine was going backwards and his was going forward. Let me see if I can do this. See, like this and then like this. I didn't know how to explain it exactly, but I just got this impression about it. And this is like the coolest thing. So this week I got this notice, and it says NASA scientists detect parallel universe next to ours where time runs backward. I cannot tell you how gratifying it is for me to sometimes have these like theories that I come up with that actually like get discovered. It's just so exciting. And so it makes me wonder if other of my theories are actually going to start happening or already happening. It's just us coming into awareness with it. Because remember I was talking about the fan the fan going all the time, but I only heard it when I was aware of it. And actually, when a tree falls in a forest, it doesn't make a sound unless there is someone to hear it. It may make the vibrations, but it does not make a sound unless somebody hears it. And so that fan is going all the time, but there's sound when I am aware of it, when I'm actually aware of it. And then, this is just so exciting. So then I started to have this like weird understanding about the visual too. I can't quite make heads or tails out of it really, but us us being able to see them by our awareness on them. And I noticed that this kind of happens for me. It happens for everyone. I'm just only going to speak for myself. So I lose something, and I just cannot see it. I cannot see it. I'm like, where did it go? And then I have this later. It's like there. It was like there the whole time, but I just could not see it. I couldn't see it. Abraham Hicks would say, I could not see it because my belief that it was lost was greater than my belief that I could see it, or that it was there. It's all like based on our beliefs. So, anyway, here's my next theory, and I'm really, really excited if this one, like, I get any evidence outside of myself about it. But So it is my belief that we will be able to start in the not so distant future seeing our loved ones when they pass out of their body. Like the disciples saw Jesus Christ when he was crucified and he passed out of his body and he came back and they were able to physically see him. I believe that there will come a time where we will be able to see them because they are just one dimension. They could be more than one dimension away from us, but they are just right there. They are vibrationally right there. And so I just think it would be like it would be such a deal breaker if we could see them. Like the sadness about the loss and knowing that we never lose anyone ever. This idea has also like come to me with people, ideas, like jobs, everything, and just sort of letting everything kind of go. Just letting it all go because everything is really transitory in this life. It's very impermanent. There is no permanence. There is no assurance in this life outside of the love of God. There is no assurance in this life outside of the love of God. And so, like, it's so weird how things come around. And to demonstrate this, it's just so interesting, or it is to me. Years ago, I tend to like save my money for things. Like if I don't like the price of it, I just wait. And yes, I do run the risk of them selling out, but I'm willing to take that risk a lot of times. So there was this hat at Anthropologie, and anyone who shops at Anthropologie knows they're a little bit more pricey than, like, I don't know, say Target. And so I had fallen in love with this hat. I love hats. They're really good for me in the summer because of my skin. So I'd fallen in love with this hat. And on a summer vacation, this hat that I bought, this was years ago, this hat that I had saved up from Anthropologie to buy, we had gotten in this canoeing thing where we capsized, and I lost my hat. It went floating down the stream. I was so sad because I had waited up and I loved this hat. I think I just got that hat back. I bought this hat the other day at a secondhand store. And it seems really familiar. Like it's the same hat. It's really kind of big, and I really look kind of foolish wearing it, but I love it so much. And it reminds me of that hat. Just the weirdness of how things do just sort of come back. They just come back in another way. Anyway, and so I'm going to close with, I got this the other day. It's the power of theories. And so these people had these theories for a period of time. Like this one was almost 100 years. Gravitational waves, theorized in 1916, and it was discovered in 2015. This one was from 1964. Higgs, boson was discovered in 1912. Antimatter, 1928, discovered in 1932. And black holes, theorized in 1916, discovered in 1971. So I'm wondering exactly what year we're going to discover that we can see our loved ones when they pass. It would just be a game changer for all of us, wouldn't it? Anyway, I love you. I'll be back.